Evil Glitch is an arcade-style space shooter. As is probably evident already, its two predominant themes, or aesthetics, are glitches and 80s retro arcade. I started off playing through the tutorial to figure out what I'm doing so that I'm not just blindly firing around. The dialogue in the tutorial and throughout is narrated from the main antagonist's point of view. He, or she, or possibly it, I haven't gotten far enough in the game to learn more about the antagonist, unfortunately, has a very sassy and kind of irritated persona, and the game developers made his dialogue reflect that. The reason I haven't gotten far enough in the game to learn more about the story is through a combination of the fact that I'm clearly a scrub, and also because this game is surprisingly hard. Let's start off with the controls. You're supposed to use the WASD arrow keys to move around, and you rotate the ship by moving the mouse, which controls the crosshair. I immediately noticed that using the WASD keys in a space shooter has the disadvantage of making moving in a diagonal direction a lot clumsier and more difficult. Thanks to the fact that I have to use the mouse to both shoot and turn my spaceship around to get away from enemies, it's kind of easy for the enemies to get right behind me while I'm shooting the ones in front of me, and I'll end up sailing backwards right into an enemy, which causes me to have to start all over. This last issue, the one about running into enemies, might be less the game's fault and more my fault for having bad timing or coordination. My skill set aside, the controls definitely felt kind of sticky. Another problem I had with the controls was how the crosshair moved. Whenever you move the crosshair, it leaves ghostly trails behind it, which really threw me off and made it harder to hit enemies. I thought I was aiming at an enemy, but that was really just where the trail was. The longer you spend not killing enemies or destroying totems, the more can spawn through the totems. Aside from the controls and difficulty, I didn't really have any other major problems with the game. The game is a simple space shooter with the addition of the glitch power, which slows enemies down a little. The gameplay is pretty intuitive. Yes, it's still hard, but it's easy to figure out what you're supposed to do without the game even telling you that you're supposed to shoot the enemy ships. But my favorite aspect of the game is the aesthetic. The neon retro art style is beautiful. It's exciting and bright, but it's not so bright and overwhelming you can't tell what's going on. The enemy designs are just simple geometric shapes and don't look overly detailed and crazy. It pairs very well with the glitch theme, another art style I've always loved. Just the right amounts of both glitch and 80s neon make this a very aesthetically pleasing game. The music is 80s style synth music, and even though the music seems to be thrown in at random intervals and the songs don't play in any particular order, it really works in the game's favor. It's not distracting and helps set the exciting, futuristic, yet retro atmosphere. I know I've said retro about 5 times in this review so far, but that's because that's the best word I can think of to describe it. The final thing I like about this game is the pacing and difficulty. Just a minute ago I was talking about how hard it was. Yes, it's hard, and I may have rage quit once or twice, but it was only temporary. The game kind of has this power to suck you in and make you want to beat your previous record. Like other shoot-'em-up games, it really feels like I've accomplished something if I can make the enemies on screen disappear quicker than I could before, or if I can get further in the game than before. It's like a personal challenge of sorts to me. There's no sense of urgency induced by the storyline, but rather by strategy. I know that if I leave the enemies on screen for a long time, or don't take out the totems, then that's how many more enemies I'll have chasing me, and it's just that much more likely that I'll die. As a bonus, there are multiple modes you can unlock as you progress. Again though, I'm a noob and haven't gotten to unlock any of these modes yet. All in all, I give this game a Decamarks out of 10. Decamarks is my second favorite glitch Pokemon, so that's pretty high praise. I didn't give it the full missing no, simply because the controls made the game frustrating, but compared to everything else the game has to offer, it's a pretty small complaint. So yeah, I'd probably recommend this game to anyone who likes space shooters and aesthetically pleasing games.